Dropping into a new edition of the world from A to Z. Wingsuit base jumping is neither for the faint of heart nor the faint of safety. But what Austrian athlete Peter Saltzman did last month in Switzerland was intended to push the limits. Wearing a specially designed suit and specially designed helmet, Saltzman was going for speed. The world speed record for a wingsuit base jump was 211 miles per hour. During a free fall that lasted for 35 seconds, Saltzman clocked more than 215 miles per hour and thankfully made it down safely to enjoy it. The 38-year-old Austrian athlete is experienced at this. Should anyone else do it? No. Technology also played a part in his flight. He was wearing a speed tracker and being measured by a radar gun to confirm the record. And a drone that was developed to race against a Formula One champion was racing straight down the side of the mountain with Saltzman. Even the machine's operator said it was difficult to keep up. We're taking you around the world in 80 seconds next on The World from A to Z. I'm Carl Azuz, and Fridays are awesome. Last Friday, we told you how a historic artwork believed to have been stolen by the Nazis during World War II had appeared, then disappeared again from a real estate listing in Argentina. Well, authorities there say they've recovered it. A lawyer representing the family selling the home apparently turned over the 18th century portrait of a lady by Giuseppe Ghislandi, and the couple that owns the home where the work was discovered was temporarily placed under house arrest. One of the owners is the daughter of a Nazi who moved to Argentina after the war. The country's La Nación newspaper reports that the homeowners say they inherited the artwork and should get to keep it. You can find background on all of this under past episodes at worldatozz.org. Authorities in Portugal are trying to find out what caused a funicular, a type of cable car, to derail this week in Lisbon. At least 16 people were killed and 21 were injured in Wednesday's crash. The railway service dates back to 1885 and it's popular with tourists. A Portuguese official says all the funiculars in the city would be shut down until they could be inspected. And in California, a wildfire sparked by lightning has almost completely destroyed a historic ghost town. Chinese Camp, as it's known, is a state historical landmark that dates back to the 1850s, but a series of wildfires burning since Tuesday have consumed much of the town, along with more than 12,000 acres.
Word of knowledge. Succulents are plants known for their ability to do what? Store water, grow without sunlight, thrive in humid areas, glow in the dark. Succulent plants, which are popular as houseplants, have thick leaves that help them store water. They don't glow naturally, but
scientists have created glow-in-the-dark houseplants they say can recharge with sunlight. A new study published in the scientific journal Matter says researchers injected succulents with a liquid compound fueled by strategically sized phosphor particles similar to those used in glow-in-the-dark toys. And just like those toys, the study showed the succulents didn't just shine, but could re-illuminate after exposure to sunlight. They even created an impressive wall of 56 gleaming plants they say was bright enough to read by. More research is needed to study the long-term effects on the plants, but the team says this simple and low-cost process could help pave the way for sustainable plant-based lighting systems.
On this date in world history.
On September 5th, 1972, tragedy struck at the Summer Olympics in Munich, West Germany. 8 members of a Palestinian militant group named Black September launched a terrorist attack against the Israeli team. 2 members of that team were killed at the beginning. 9 other Israelis were taken hostage while the terrorists demanded the release of more than 200 Palestinian prisoners in Israel. All of the hostages, along with 5 of the 8 militants, were killed after West German police launched a failed rescue attempt. 3 of the terrorists were captured. The games continued controversially after a day-long suspension, and the tragedy led to significant changes in Olympic security. On this date in 1977, NASA launched an unmanned spacecraft named Voyager 1. It's traveled farther from Earth than any other man-made object. NASA says it's well beyond the orbit of Pluto, and it continues to send back info from its decades-long dive into deep space.
Is it constitutional?
The first mention of the word cabinet appears in Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution. True or false? This is false. The word cabinet doesn't appear in the Constitution, but Article 2, Section 2 discusses leaders of the executive departments, what became known as the cabinet.
Did you know the President's Cabinet is a group of advisors? It's made up of the heads of the 15 executive departments. To see how the cabinet fits into the executive branch, check out the government tree at periodicpresidents.com.
Made from solid oak, using authentic Scandinavian plans, it's a Viking longship. Here, getting the finishing touches after a long labor of love. The vessel, christened Stormbird, is part of a project to help UK military veterans dealing with PTSD and other mental health issues.
Okay, it's about building a boat, but it's not about the boat. It's about the time that the men and women working on it spend doing it. It's working with them. You know, the boat really is a byproduct of what we're doing.
The program launched in 2019, but looked sunk when the pandemic hit and funding was cut. But Bob Marshall, who himself had a 26-year career in the Army, saw it could make a difference, even if it was just in one life, and he used his own funds to keep it afloat. More than 60 veterans have worked on this boat. Veterans tend to suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder at a higher rate than civilians, as they are more likely to be exposed to traumatic events during combat.
In mental health, one thing you've got to have is time. And if we were doing small projects with individuals, they'd be in and out and in and out. They wouldn't really get the benefit.
Boat building also offers the camaraderie veterans miss from their time in the forces. Many have seen improved mental health and a growing confidence, opening doors to new job opportunities. Although the boat is finished, the project is far from over. The 30-foot longboat went on display at a Viking festival in northern England, and people are admiring its many decorative features.
Continuing our tour of states we haven't visited yet this season, we come to New York, home of the Tuckers of Mattituck. Mrs. Brigham's class is here from Mattituck Junior High School. Next to War Road High School. It's in the city of War Road, Minnesota, where the Warriors are watching in Mr. Richards' class. And we'll wrap up the week in Idaho with Miss Hudek or Hodek or Howdek's class, however you say it. Y'all are awesome at Richard McKenna Charter High School in Mountain Home. Kitty caught a camera for a close-up. These are lions. It's the truth. And one of them at the Oregon Zoo decided a not-so-hidden-anymore camera would make a fun chew toy. It reportedly has a cover on it to protect itself and the lion. So if you've ever wondered if there's a safe way to toy with an apex predator, this may be the closest you can get to checking its tonsils. The other animals in the enclosure did not share the one cat's curiosity. They were probably like, bro, where's your pride? It's one thing if you're feline playful, but taking selfies ain't pantherapy and there's no good claws to pick up bad habitats. We may be the main attraction here, but what you're doing is pure savanity. I'm Carl Azuz, toying with some puns on the world from A to Z. We hope your weekend is nothing short of amazing. You mean the world to me.